A quick update on the disaster that just happened in Washington, D.C. between the regional jet and the Army National Guard helicopter PAT-25, where the two aircraft collided just short of final for runway 33 at DCA. Here's what we know so far. My name is Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel. The airspace coming into DCA is extremely busy, including two prohibited areas just to the north of the airport and the Joint Base Bowling located right up here. The RJ, or regional jet, a CRJ 700 coming in from Wichita to DCA, operated by PSA Airlines for American Eagle, was cleared for the approach to runway 1. Not sure if it was the instrument approach or the river visual approach to runway 1, circled to land to runway 33. So what that means is the RJ flies the approach to this runway 1, the long runway, and then sidesteps around here to a left dogleg entry to runway 33, the relatively short runway, about 5,200 feet long here at Washington, D.C. A very demanding approach. This crew is focused on this approach. This mid-air collision occurred just below 400 feet above the ground. The National Guard helicopter, believed to be either a UH-60 or VH-60, Victor H-60, was presumably operating out of Joint Base Bowling, located right here. Here's where the helicopters operate out of. They have this procedure where they can dart across the Potomac River right across the final approach for these airlines. This is an approved procedure. Looking at the video widely published on social media, here comes the regional jet. We are looking to the south. The regional jet is heading towards us, doing the approach to runway 1 and stepping to runway 33. Here is the helicopter, the UH or VH-60 helicopter, approaching from our left. And he's approaching to the right side of the aircraft, coming from Joint Base Bowling. And the two collide right there. Now let's review the ATC data. First, let's check this out from ADS-B Exchange, where the two aircraft came together. So here you can see the regional jet doing the sidestep maneuver to runway 33, so kind of a left dogleg base entry. This is all done visually to runway 33, and the helicopter coming out of Bowling and crossing right into its path. We'll listen to this audio just to get an idea of just how busy this airspace is leading up to the collision.
Good for B to take off. 70 request.
L3 to zone 6.
Most of you say route for zone 6.
A for Alpha
7 approved.
7.
National Guard, good evening. Air 1 to single minute.
All of these communications are in real time.
Medevac Air Carrier 1 to Washington Star, and just saw Commodore 290. Approved to Washington class, Robert Space 4 Land Sheridan Fairfax. 0 for Air 1, copy. S25, CRJ in flight. S25, pass on is CRJ.
S25 has a aircraft in sight, precision separation.
Separate. 472 Washington Star, 1 star, 32017.
Okay, that was it. That was the collision. Did you hear the communications? PAT-25 is the call sign of the military transport helicopter. That's Priority Air Transport. We believe this is one of the gold top helicopters out of Washington, D.C. And the tower at DCA says, PAT-25, do you have the CRJ in sight? Now, I believe the helicopters are operating on a separate frequency from the CRJ, so I don't believe the CRJ hears the helicopters, but all this is being controlled by the tower there at DCA. So the tower says, PAT-25, do you have the CRJ in sight? PAT-25 responds, have the CRJ in sight, request visual separation, standard procedure. And then the tower clears PAT-25 to pass behind the CRJ. For whatever reason, the helicopter did not see and avoid the CRJ and ran right into him. Here's the flight aware data for the CRJ. It looks like the CRJ was cleared for the ILS straight in approach to runway 1, not the visual. and then did the sidestep to runway 33. And looking at the track log, the CRJ was on a perfectly stabilized approach. In other words, the CRJ was exactly where he was supposed to be, doing exactly what he was supposed to be doing. According to initial news reports, the helicopter involved was Army UH-60, or one of these gold-top VH-60 helicopters operated by Bravo Company, 12th Aviation Battalion, Davison Army Airfield, on a training flight. So there were just three crew members on board the helicopter at the time of the collision. There were no VIPs being transported at the time of the collision. Regarding TCAS, the Traffic Collision Avoidance System, it's believed that the helicopter had this equipment on board. The regional jet certainly had this equipment on board, but remember, TCAS does not give an RA or a resolution advisory below 1,000 feet. So instead, you will just get the traffic, and the diamond lighting up on your screen, but it will not tell you to climb or descend below 1,000 feet because you're simply too low to be given a descending resolution advisory that would descend you right into the water or right into the terrain. So below 1,000 feet, TCAS resolution advisories are inhibited. The weather was good at the time of the accident. The winds were gusting out of the north, 15 gust 26 knots, but for whatever reason, the helicopter pilot did not see and avoid the CRJ as he was directed by ATC and as he responded to ATC saying that he would pass behind the CRJ. Investigators will need to determine, did the helicopter even have his transponder on and operational? What were the two different frequencies that these pilots were operating on? And this background lighting can make it difficult to see these objects at night. And the bright landing lights of the CRJ, you're not going to see if you're approaching them from a beam. Or did the helicopter crew confuse this aircraft that was taking off for the CRJ, but that aircraft would have been well off to the helicopter crew's right? The first major airline aviation accident here in the United States since 2009. If we get more information, we'll post it here. See you here.